really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Today, I want to share with you the story of a man named Lester Isbell. He was 74 years old, a retired preacher, a father, a friend. On February 6, 2025, he entered a small payday loan office in Madisonville, Tennessee, confused, disoriented, and in the middle of a serious medical crisis. He walked in needing help, but he didn't walk out. This is the story of why they are protesting June 3rd, 2025, tomorrow. It started like any normal afternoon. Lester went to Security Finance, a local payday loan business, to make a payment. But the employee there, especially one named Tracy, could tell something was wrong. Lester looked confused. He wasn't making sense. Tracy became so concerned she called 911 On that day, she explained that she had an elderly customer who seemed extremely disoriented. She even told dispatchers she didn't think he should be driving. She wasn't sure if he had dementia, low blood sugar, or something else, but she knew this man needed medical attention. 911 relayed the call, telling first responders to expect an elderly man who was confused, possibly suffering from dementia and in need of assistance. Both EMS and Madisonville police officers were dispatched. When they arrived around 2:30 p.m., EMS evaluated Lester. His vitals were alarming. Blood pressure 218 over 110, oxygen level 89%, respiratory rate elevated. He was zoning in and out of consciousness. EMS said it looked like a hypertensive crisis, possibly a stroke or a heart issue in the making. They warned Lester about the seriousness of his condition. His own daughter begged them to take him to a hospital. She said he'd had episodes before, that he needed care, but instead of getting him an ambulance bed, they wrote him off as uncooperative, and they labeled him disorderly. They had him arrested. At this point, Lester should have been in an ER, but instead he was handcuffed and being taken to the Monroe County Jail. Surveillance and body cam footage shows officers and jail staff forcibly dragging him from the cruiser and into a holding cell. Within minutes of being placed into the cell, Lester collapsed, falling headfirst into a concrete bench. He hit his head hard. He didn't get up, and still, no medical care was provided. Instead of checking his injuries, they strapped him to a restraint chair. They wrapped his arms, legs, and neck and left him there. They left him there for 9.5 hours until he died. No food, no water, no bathroom breaks, no medical checks. And there's footage, disturbing footage, of Lester with a hood over his head, sitting slumped in that chair. Eventually, his body gave out, and Lester died right there in the Monroe County Jail. As you can imagine, this family is devastated, and rightfully so. This wasn't a criminal. This was an elderly man, a grandfather, a father, a friend, a man in crisis, a preacher, but above all else, a human being. He needed help, and instead he got punishment. He needed compassion. Instead he got confinement. And when his body couldn't take any more, he died alone, ignored, and restrained. No one has been held accountable. That's why on Tuesday, June 3rd at 9 a.m., the community is gathering outside the Monroe County Justice Center in Madisonville, Tennessee, to demand justice for Lester Isbell. This is not just a protest. It's a remembrance. It's a call for reform. And it's a demand for accountability. It is hard to think a grandfather and a pastor, a man of God, could ever be treated like this by a law enforcement body that was there to protect people like him. We need justice, and we're asking for anybody that can attend to please attend. God bless you.
Well, good morning, my beautiful people of YouTube. Not such a happy day for us folks here in the true crime genre this morning. Very angry, very upset, wanting to find a man on the run. I'm Bullhorn Betty. Again, we cover true crime. We're covering the case of the Decker sisters. This is Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia. Paityn, 9 years old, Evelyn, 8 years old, and Olivia, only 5 years old. Found deceased. Father, Travis Decker, 8/15/1992. Date of birth, military, trained, is on the run. I can't tell you the anger and the heartbreak, the sheer heartbreak that I have for this mother, especially after having to dive into their life and wonder and viewing and seeing what a wonderful woman she is and what a great life she provided her three beautiful angels. And this is something that's going to be a very emotional conversation that we're going to have here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, because this bothers me. I think everybody here, this bothers everybody. It's hard not to be emotional. It's hard not to show the pain. I'm sure you guys see in my own eyes. It's going to be a hard case for me to cover. We have three beautiful girls that had the world ahead of them, that were snuffed out by a mentally ill, drug induced, deranged lunatic known as their father, called Travis Decker. This is beyond mental illness. This is beyond mental illness. So I want to thank everybody that's here. The Real Me Too, thank you for being here. Melanie, thank you as well. We do have a goal. I have some exclusive videos, or excuse me, exclusive photos of the family. And if you guys noticed, the mom has basically sanitized her entire account except one photo of her children. I don't blame her by any stretch of the imagination. However, we dig a little deeper here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, and so we have a lot of gorgeous and cute photos of these children, of their family, and I'm going to explain to you guys how I was able to acquire those as well. um, just a tragic story. For those that don't know much about it, we are going to dive in. By the time we're done, you're going to have a clear understanding. But before we get in on this particular case, I did want to provide you an update. As many of you guys know, I ran that intro video about Lester Isbell. Lester Isbell is a 74-year-old man, not something that most content creators are jumping out at to tell their story. But this one hit a little closer to home because he's a grandfather, he's a pastor, he's just a good, wholesome, family and godly man that went to pay bills and was disoriented. He's not a criminal. They have not had problems with him. It's not like most of the other people we show on our channel. This man had no other issues. Again, a pastor, lived in the area his entire life, well known, and he was disoriented, and he had a lot of people. If anybody's dealt with anybody that's had dementia or confusion or disorientation, when you have a whole bunch of people in their face, it's not a pretty sight. And it doesn't mean they don't know what's going on. They have no idea who these people are. And yes, some of that worrisome or nervousness will show. And law enforcement is supposed to be trained to identify that. They gave him Narcan for Christ's sake. Okay? Because they thought he was intoxicated. This is how poorly trained the police department was out there in administering Narcan to a 74-year-old preacher. We're not even going to go there. Okay, we're not. But either way, this is a conversation for another day. Most of you guys are here for the information about the three girls. So let's get through this so we can get and moved on. This is why we do what we do. It is a whole host of avocation. This man's not getting much airway. I truly believe by the time we, the true crime community, and other people are done with this case is going to reach national level. It is not there yet, but because of the egregiousness of this particular case, I do believe at some point it will be debuted on national news. It is just that egregious for me, okay? So let's just go on here because I think this is good, but I think you guys need to understand the impact that we have, working and trying to get something like this done is no easy feat. And this family did it alone. They are fighting for their loved one, and anything that I can do to help any family promote or advocate for their loved one, I'm definitely going to do it. So just so you guys can have an update for the video that I dropped the day before yesterday, here is your update.
Madisonville, demanding justice. A 74-year-old former minister died in custody inside the county jail.
An attorney for the family says video from inside the Monroe County jail cell shows Lester Isbell needing medical attention. You'll see that video in just moments. And in it, you will also see corrections officers put him in a restraint chair and then place a hood over his head. He sat in that position for hours. 10 News anchor Shay Smith and 10 News investigator John North talked to both the family attorney and the daughter of the man who died.
John and Robin, what started out as a medical call to 911 turned into the arrest and ultimately the death of 74.
It was called in as a medical call. Okay? He did not break any laws. There was absolutely zero justification for an arrest. Zero. Just to put it out there.
4-year-old Lester Isbell. The retired pastor died after being held at the jail for about 10 hours. During that time, he got no food, no water, and his family says he very clearly needed medical attention. A warning, some of the video you are about to see may be upsetting.
It's bad enough that he died, but the way that he died, and he didn't get any help, and he screamed the whole time.
Wendy Duncan's father, Lester Isbell, lived his whole life in Monroe County. He was a retired pastor of more than 30 years. On February 6th, she says her father went to pay a bill at Security Finance. He became ill. An employee called 911 seeking medical help. Duncan says EMS and Madisonville police showed up, and when EMS took his vitals, his blood pressure was high and his oxygen was low. Instead of being taken to the hospital, Isbell was charged with disorderly conduct and taken to the Monroe County Jail. He died less than 12 hours later. Video from inside the jail cell shows Isbell talking to himself, walking around without his cane, then falling and hitting his head.
To see him fall like that and nobody even checked on him after it.
Jail staff then put Isbell in a restraint chair. Eventually, they moved to put a hood over his head. Video shows what happened next. As staff left the room, you can see one man gesturing to the camera.
I'm speechless. I mean, I can't. It's difficult to watch a 74-year-old man being restrained in this.
I gotta be honest with you. Seeing an officer flip off a camera, if his ass ain't fired, you got some problems. Another Tennessee case.
In a restraint chair and had a hood over his head. I was speechless.
A sheriff's observation log and video obtained by WBIR shows Isbell in that chair more than 9 hours, 6 to 7 of those hours hooded. Family attorney Tyler Weiss says his hands and feet turning purple, his neck also constrained. In those 9 hours.
And if you guys know anything about the color purple, learn it in the Summer Wells case. It is when your heart stops and you are not getting oxygen into your heart, your extremities start turning purple. So they had all the indicators prior to him expiring that he was getting ready to expire.
Hours, Isbell received no food or water and got no bathroom break. Earlier, he had urinated on himself.
Imagine if it was your father or mother. It broke my heart to know that he was here and I couldn't do anything about it.
Isbell's observation logs show at 10:52 and 11 o'clock p.m. he was moving in the chair. The log says at 11:01.
Do you guys see that? That girl there? That's the nurse that's laughing. I don't know if you caught that. That's a nurse watching these officers do this to an elderly man that shouldn't even have been in jail, and she's sitting there having a great old time. Lady, you should be losing your medical license, your license to be a nurse. An embarrassment.
Wait, he was sitting in the chair. At 11:14, he was sitting in the chair with his head down, and that's when jail staff checked on him. He had no pulse. His daughter says she wants those involved to be held accountable for how they treated her father, a loving man, his daughter says, whose death is double the pain.
I want them to remember him happy. He loved being outside. He farmed his whole life. He was friendly to everyone. But unfortunately, my last memories of him will be the way he died here. I'll never forget it. I'll never get over it.
These are real families, folks. These are real families. These are families that are struggling for somebody to hear their story, for them to hear their story, for them to have the opportunity to be on social media or to have their story taken to national news. This story needs to go to national news. This story needs to go to national news. Thank you for allowing me just to bend your ear just a little bit related to the case of Lester Isbell, a terrible, tragic case that should have never have happened. Dawn, good morning. Stephanie, true crime junkie, good morning, my love. I accidentally went up a little too high, so let me get my place positioned again. I know, is that true crime junkie? There you are. Linda, good morning. It's nice to see you. The real Me Too. Melanie, I think I've already said hi to you guys. Stephanie, it's nice to see you. Southern Grammy, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Who else do we have? We have me and you up in the house this morning. Little Orange Man. Donna, it's nice to see you. Good morning, Frank. Pebbles, I see you up in the house. Thank you. Don't forget to tell our beautiful mods thank you for all their work so far. I'm hearing Sonia is healing. I'm sure she's in a lot of pain and probably can't be here with us today. But if we can all just show her some love and put some big, beautiful red hearts in the chat. So when she comes through here and she sees the big, beautiful red hearts, she knows that that's just for her. I'd greatly appreciate that. Grave Crime with Grace is up in the chat. It's nice to see you. Good morning. Melanie gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership, and I'll get over to the sweet stuff because you guys there's a few people that did some things, so we'll go over there after I'm done saying good morning to everyone. So thank you for gifting a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Melanie thank you, and welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. Good morning. Good morning. Carla, it's nice to see you. Unicorn, Indiana, up in the house. Belinda, it's nice to see you. Kathleen, good morning. Peggy, Vicky, good morning. Deanna, it's nice to see you. Faye is up in the house. Gina K, 11 months. Wow, you've been here for a while. Good morning, Bullhorn Betty, Delilah, and Mods. It's nice to see you. I don't know where Delilah is. Is she in her bed? Nope, she's either on the couch or in the big bed. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. And me and you reminding us, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on your way in. Michelle, it's nice to see you up in the house. Our beautiful Grave Crime with Grace. Thank you. I love this intro, BHB. Puts me in a good mood. Thank you. Yeah, until we get to our actual intro video, and then it tanks because it's always grim and gloom, right? It's always grim and gloom. So it is what it is. This world's crazy out there. Trust the process. It's nice to see you. Good morning, Kendra. Good morning, YouTubers up in the house. VA, Stacy, it's nice to see you. Julie, good morning. Who else do we have? Oh, Stephanie, thank you so much. God bless you. God bless you. Bookworm is up in the house. It's nice to see you, Bookworm. Good morning. West Virginia Holler Girl is up in the house. Good morning. Pussy Willow Pendercat. Faye, good morning. Sabrina, it's nice to see you. Who else do? Oh, there's Chaos. Good morning, Love Bug. I hope you're doing well this morning. And I think that might just be about it. Mary Ann, it's nice to see you. Christy, good morning. Mama, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Reba, good morning. Who else do we have? Rebecca, good morning. If I missed you this morning, I do apologize. So everybody else that I may have missed, good morning. Good morning. I see SRK, Wheezy Girl. It's nice to see you. Patty, good morning. One Sock. It's nice to see you. B Betty fan. Maritza, it's nice to see you. Ori, good morning. Good morning. If you are here and you can't comment in the chat, it's because I set the chat for one day. So if you guys subscribe today, you'll be able to chat tomorrow. Many people say, how much does it cost to subscribe? Subscriptions are free. So just hitting that subscribe button does not cost you a dime, but allows you to have a great conversation with like-minded people in the chat. Remember, we try to respect all people's opinions. If you're here to gaslight or be nasty, we remove you very, very quickly, whether you scream and cry that nobody can have an opinion or not. We do not all agree in this chat, yet we all get along. So we know who the problems are when they come in, and we remove those problems. So please don't be a problem. Be kind to all. You don't know each other. You guys are one big happy family, and we're trying to understand what goes on in these cases, and if we can, help, right? Good morning, Serenity. It's nice to see you. Good morning. This story breaks my heart. It's about 3 hours from me. If he is still alive, he is up in the mountains and woods, lots of open space. Yeah, and that's going to be the conversation, the talking point today. Is he dead or alive? And what does that mean? I am truly of the belief we're most likely going, whether he's dead or alive right now, I feel that we're ultimately going to find him deceased. I just think that these are the ingredients for a situation like this, and feel that most likely that will end up being the outcome, or he's going to try to do what oh, good gracious, I can't remember that precious baby angel's face. That poor little girl that was in, that her father took her to that abandoned property. Just a horrible situation. And you guys know, it's hard for me to talk about because it's so upsetting for me. Let me find this. Share. Okay, so let me get back over here. Hopefully it doesn't kick my audio again. It did not kick my audio. Good. All right. Sorry about that. Sometimes StreamYard is what it is. So let's get started on the topic of conversations. For those that are coming in, thank you so much. Oh, Robin, thank you. Listening to you on the way to Houston. Cake and Cindy say good morning too. Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And Jen in Georgia says, love some BHB mods in chat. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I think we're close to our goal right now. So we'll most likely at the end, we'll be showing all of the all of the photos that I have uncovered. So we're covering the case of Paityn, 9 years old, Evelyn, 8 years old, and Olivia, 5 years old. It's what I dub the Decker sisters. That's how I will be hashtagging my videos. So if you guys would like videos, we're going to be hashtag Decker sisters, hashtag Decker sisters. Now this, I may be pronunciating this county incorrectly, but it's Chelan County, Chelan County, and that's in Washington State. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the backstory of this case, I'm going to give you a very vague backstory of this case. So, mom and dad married, had 3 girls. At some point now, I'm unfamiliar if they're divorced or in the process of divorce. That is unclear to me, so I'm not going to be commenting on that until I have a good understanding. Somebody in the chat may know one way or the other, but either way, we know that there is a parenting plan in place, and part of that parenting plan is that their father, Travis Decker, gets the children 3 hours, I think, every other week or every week. This is unsupervised 3 hours. Thank you, Wheezy Girl. So they divorced last year. I could see the separation last year, but I didn't know how quickly that divorce was, because we've got some, following the path even the financial path and the purchases of homes and things like that. I followed through with that as well. So we're going to cover all of that information. But it sounds like they divorced last year, and there was a parenting plan in place. Now, this kind of has similar in a similar backdrop like the Sebastian Rogers story, but much different. So many people didn't know that when, or maybe you guys did, maybe you guys do remember this, but when Seth and Katie divorced, Seth was homeless and he had no place to go, but he was able to have joint custody. The court still gave him joint custody of his son, even though he was homeless. Obviously, his dad's not, taking him or anything like that, but that worked out well for Sebastian's situation. However, in a situation like this, another judge did the same thing, but the difference here is there was a huge, long, drawn out history of this man's mental health issues, his military experience, there's obviously something that concerned his wife to make her divorce him. Good, healthy marriages don't usually end in divorce. Okay. So obviously something was here. She was obviously concerned for her safety and her children's safety. She didn't really like this whole deal, but it was part of their parenting plan. She wanted the father in her children's life, but I still believe in the back of her mind, she never thought that even some of the conversations in the reports when these kids were missing, to me, indicated she didn't really think that the father would be a threat to them. Okay. So that's kind of where I'm finding this information out. So they were reported missing on May 30th. They were found on June 1st, deceased. I was very hopeful. This was a military father that, just had a lot of mental illness, and courts were being, I was hopeful that he just wanted a little more time with his children. Some parents do that. It happens all the time. The majority of the time, it does not end like this. It ends with the other parent being arrested or having to be dragged back into court, for parental guidance and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it was just because they felt jaded by the system and they weren't provided enough time to see their child. This was not the case on this date. I still don't believe the mom ever thought this was going to be the end. I think she thought the same thing because she was just out of an abundance of caution reporting them missing because he didn't bring them back this time on time. It is my understanding he has done this in the past and nothing other than him just being late dropping the children off. This is a situation where they didn't come back. I'm sure she was being hopeful and everything like that what she was feeling in her gut was not what reality was going to be. So one thing I found out is, again, Travis Decker was born in August 1992. Whitney, which is the girl's mother, she's January 1990. So she's 18 months to 2 years older than her husband. She has a lot of education. She's got bachelor's degrees. She went to the Western Governors University. She has ties in Georgia, Wisconsin, as well as Washington. They purchased their property off of Rosewood Avenue back in 2021. Now, for whatever reason, they couldn't purchase this property by themselves. So it on the deed in mortgage documents, it's got Whitney, it's got Travis, and it also has his father, John Decker, listed, and I think he was a co-signer. Now, we've also looked into all of these people. We've looked into, mom, we've looked into dad, we've looked into dad's mom and dad, so grandma and grandpa. Some definitely interesting stuff in in the history and kind of why I understand, I don't understand Travis or ever understand violence. I will never understand that, nor do I condone it. But I'm kind of seeing a picture painted on why we're here with Travis. So it appears that Travis, it looks like maybe he had his brother pass away in 2003. It might have been his brother in 2003. It may have been his uncle in 2003, but a oh, sorry, not John Decker. The one on the mortgage is Troy Sean Decker. John Decker is the brother or the uncle that passed away in 2003. And this is what I think kind of triggered this whole meltdown with Travis, because a lot of people, we know the statistics from military, we know the suicide rate of military personnel that come home. We know that some of the stuff that they see abroad really does affect them mentally and emotionally. And a lot of them, internalize it and don't seek the help that they need. But we know that some of them come back with a little more mental or emotional problems than others. I think what triggered this total breakdown of Travis is his mom. Apparently his mother, let me get her name. I think it's Rachel. I didn't write her name down. Hold on. I think it's Rachel. Give me just a quick second. I think it's Rachel. The mom's name, I didn't write her name down on my sheet, so I apologize about that. Yes, Rachel. Rachel M. Decker. She was born in 1963 and his mother, and she passed away July 15, 2023. If you guys understand, she had to plan 3 funerals. I know, me and you. This is going to be a hard one to cover, and we've got a lot of information to go through so we can kind of understand. We know what the situation is, okay? We know that the kids visited their father. They didn't come home when they were supposed to come home. The mother called law enforcement. They were hoping to find the kids and the father, which we learned the father was homeless and living in RV parks and out of his truck. And we just found out on the 1st, which was breaking news on the 2nd, that the girls were found, and they were found deceased. Maritza is reminding us that there is a GoFundMe that has been created for the mother. She does have 3 funerals to prepare for. And not only that, guys, she lost her 3 children, her only children, all of her children all at once by her estranged ex-husband. I don't know when she's going to be prepared to go back to work. Okay? That's what other people don't realize. It's not just about the funerals. It's not just about the support. It's about the wraparound services their mother is going to need to get through this, so she can try to have some type of normal life, which it will never be normal again. But she just can't break apart and which ends up happening. They end up breaking apart and they end up losing everything because they just can't function. And we don't know what her recovery is going to look like for this. There really is no recovery. There's just existence after this. There's just existence. You don't have 3 of your children. It doesn't even matter the circumstances. It could have been an accident. It could have been a car accident and her children were unalive through car. It doesn't matter. When you lose something like this, it messes with your head. It truly screws you up. And this is not an accident. This is the other person that gave those children life. This is something that I mean, it's hard for me. Like I haven't stopped. My whole body is broke out in goosebumps from head to toe right now. And it's not going to stop until we get through this. So I think it was his mother's death that kind of really put his mental illness and drug abuse in hyperdrive. I don't think he was able to quite deal with the death of his mother. And so all of these problems just really started ramping up and spiraling out of control after his mother. Now, like I said, in 2021, the girls, the whole family moved into a home. Now, they lived in a different home prior to this. And let me go ahead and show you the home. The mom did a great job for these children. Okay, these children lived in a very a beautiful home. They were well taken care of. These are not typically our stories. We don't typically have good families on our show. The mom did everything right. She saw an issue. She divorced the father before it got out of control. She wanted the father to be in her children's life like any good parent would want, not to try to have those children have the most normal life as possible. She, in the back of her mind, knew that these children um, could be at risk. I'd have to assume that. I don't think she would ever imagine that this would be the outcome. This is a nice, beautiful home for children, 3 beautiful girls to live in. This house, when they purchased it, was right under $500,000. So, what I believe truly happened as I'm piecing the puzzle of this story together, this is what I believe happened. Now, I do have factual information, so I'm going to tell you the factual information. And then after that, look at that beautiful backyard. That would be a wonderful place for those children to play. Thank you, Pebbles. Pebbles has got the GoFundMe up. Thank you. These kids the mom tried to give these kids the most normal and the best life that they could possibly have. She gave them a clean home. She had a business. And this is where we start uncovering and unraveling some of these things. Now, I also went through Grandpa's background. Now, Grandpa, he was a little rascal back in his younger years. Back in the 80s, Grandpa was, a little wild, got pulled over for a DUI, had a concealed weapon in the car, no big deal. I mean, back then it was no big deal. It was in the 80s. Everybody carried guns on their gun racks in the 80s. So again, not when I'm evaluating a situation, is this guy a criminal? No, he learned from his lesson. He did whatever he had to do. He obviously had kids, 10, 12 years later, and became a family man, built a business, does interior work, owns a business. Decker 3 LLC is in good standing still in 2025. He's been a business owner. He's went through several different types of businesses, but the bottom line is his father, Troy Sean Decker, has been a business owner for quite some time. And it sounds like in good standing. And again, a co-signer on this property that I showed you that the girls live in. Now, they purchased this property in 2021, and sometime between the time they moved into this property and the time of their divorce last year, things were not working well. It is my belief that Travis was kind of engaging in substances or alcohol abuse, to kind of help stifle some of the depression he's going into from the service and other things. It seems like they were all part of this family business. So Whitney, these girls' mothers, actually made and designed clothes. She made and designed little kids' clothes as well. And that's where the majority of the photos that I've acquired for this show came from. They're beautiful photos because they were modeling the clothes that their mother designed, made, and sold in their store, their family store. This was a family business. So that means Travis was a model, mom was a model, grandma was a model, and the kids were models for these clothes. And I got to tell you, some of the cutest clothes I've ever seen. It is so sad to know that business tanked. For whatever reason, they couldn't keep the doors open. Obviously, that shows some type of financial strain. That financial strain was probably what helped fracture the mom and father apart. She was it appears to be the breadwinner taking care of the family, and she's got this ball and chain around her neck, dragging her and the family down. And he was the dad, Travis. And so they started, she wanted to move on with her life, and he was still stuck where he was stuck. So that's what promulgated the divorce. They went there, they had this custody. We're talking about Washington State, which is a little more PC, whether we want to acknowledge it. I'm a very fair person. I try to just tell the facts as I see them. And we cannot dismiss the fact that there's a lot of PC in the state of Washington. And what is PC? It's political correctness. It's when you know that things aren't supposed to be, but you want to give it a chance for the appearance of showing that you're doing everything. This is horrible. This type of PC loses lives. In this situation, 3 beautiful girls are now deceased because of this PC in the court system. And I'm tired of it. Sometimes children just don't need to be around their parents, despite what we think. Okay? Children don't need to go back to homes where they were essayed and go and stay with the person that essayed them. I'm sorry. There is no place in this country where that is okay in my mind. Now, I'm not, obviously the father didn't do this. I think this is more of a family, what do they call them? Euthanizers, alienate, what do they call them? Family annihilators. This is a situation of family annihilation. And this is going to fall in that category of family annihilation. So we have that mentality of this Travis. Now, is Travis dead or alive? That is the question we must ask ourselves. Now, I'm trying to figure out whether he is dead or alive. And let me just tell you all the states that he is associated with, him and his family, because it's important. When we got people on the run, where do they go? They go to places that they are well known or have a way to hide out. So the mom has a history, ties with Georgia, Wisconsin, and Washington State. The father, Travis, he has ties to Georgia, Wisconsin, and Washington. So it sounds like they were together in Georgia. So they were in Georgia, they were in Wisconsin, and then they moved over to Washington. And I think that they've been together for quite some time. They obviously been together at least 9 years because that's the oldest. So it looks like at minimum they've been together since 2015 and probably before 2015, just to give you an idea of how long they've been together. Now, Troy's father and mother have additional contacts. So his father, Travis's father, Troy, has ties to Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Washington, and Illinois. And his mother, which again is passed away, has ties to Wisconsin, Washington, Texas, New York, and Illinois. We have a man on the run, so those ties with states are going to and may be very, very important. There was also an order of child support, a significant arrearages levied upon Travis in the amount of $13,298.58, and that was ordered on May 13th, 2024. So I would have to think if he was getting low, I mean, even the rearages, he still has to maintain his child support payments moving forward, even with the arrearages. If he's not doing that, he may actually be in threat of losing his license. So I wonder if all these things were about to be hitting him really, really, really hard, and that's why he freaked. He was about to not have contact with his children, lose his ability to even drive his truck. I think that those were becoming realities, but we don't know what the situation was behind the situation. So And of course, mom was selling clothes, making and selling clothes, had a beautiful shop. So let me look at where we're at on the stream. See if we're close enough. We got 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll keep talking. If we'll get we're gonna go ahead and start. We're shy. I mean, somebody gave $20, so I want to count that as 2. So we're only like 2 goals behind. And this was what thank you, ER Blues. Now we're 1 goal behind. So we're gonna go ahead and get in. Let me remove this and get into the children. The children. There we are. So, like I said, when let me get to is this the right one? Yes. They were modeling. So these are the ones. This is the only photo that's on the mom's Facebook page, is this one right here. That one right there. And so here you go. Here's them modeling for their mom's clothing shop. Obviously, this was 3 years ago. So these kids are much younger than they are. And there's Travis right there, also modeling a shirt for the business. So there's Travis. There's Grandma. There's Mom. There's one of their children modeling. There he is, Travis again. So that's how I was able to get these, is because these are on their clothing site that's no longer available. They closed business. They don't even have their website or their storefront anymore. And she had a beautiful store. I thought she just sold clothes, but as I was going through all of her photos and videos of the girls, that I believe that is either Evelyn or Olivia when she was a baby. There's the clothing store right there, the racks. So I thought she just sold them, but you're going to see that. Oh, isn't that cute? Swimsuits. There's Mom right there. So you see what I'm saying? She loves her children. She's trying to give them the best life possible. She was a business owner that you can see she really had a passion for these clothes too. And there they are together. That's her and Travis there, sporting their swimming line. Beautiful kids. There's Mom again. There's her store. Handmade clothes. She made these by hand and sold them. Look at that. Cuts them out, puts them together. These kids were happy. They loved life. They got to play dress up. What is it? Every little girl's dream is to play dress up and have a photographer, right? They were living a lot of little girls' dreams. Gorgeous. Aw, isn't that cute? Precious. Precious. Absolutely precious. Look at that. She had her whole world right there. At this moment in her life, she had a business. She had a loving family. She was modeling. They were sending this stuff out. She was really big on Facebook and Pinterest and other places selling her clothes. She loved these kids. And I guarantee they were dressed to the nines. Look at that. Just precious. Heartbreaking. This is the most heartbreaking I can imagine. They were so happy. And that's the man that took it all away. That's the man that took it all away. Right now, there is a manhunt for Travis Decker. Again, his date of birth is, I think, August 15th. His date of birth is August 15th, 1992. He has, it appears, brown hair, brown eyes. They have stated he is armed and dangerous. He's military trained. He's unalived his 3 children. I don't think this is a person you want to walk up to. So keep your distance if you see him. Inform law enforcement. But let's go through the psychology of this, because I think it's super, super important to understand. This man lost everything over the last 24 months. Everything. He lost his beautiful home, his beautiful family, his beautiful wife. He's homeless. And all he had was his children. And as each day that he slept in his trunk, he knew he was that POS, right? These people know it. Just like when people decide to get hitmen, they know they can go through the divorce or take somebody's life, and they choose to go down the road of trying to take somebody's life. They know what they're doing. This man knows. This man knows he's got something that he can't seem to kick. His life, in his mind, is over. How do I know that? Because he took his 3 beautiful daughters. Even if he did walk away from there with no thought to unalive himself, when that adrenaline comes down, he's going to be out there alone, scared, and the realization of what he did to his beautiful girls that he loved. I believe this father loves his kids. Because if he didn't, why would he even show up? He doesn't have to go see his daughters. He doesn't have to go see them. He doesn't have to go to court to try to fight for his little 3 hours. That doesn't sound like a man that doesn't give a crap about his children. Right? So now we have a military man. His life is crumbling apart. He just unalived his 3 children, and he just took off. Even if he didn't go directly someplace and take himself out, I truly do believe they're going to find him deceased. I have, without a doubt, that they're going to find him within 2 miles of where the girls are. I really believe, because even with the adrenaline, you have to look at Brian Laundrie's case. You know, that only takes you so far before the adrenaline wears off and you're like, what the, and that's when Brian Laundrie ended up having to go back to Spread Creek, where he had people pick him up and drive him back. I'm sure you guys watched that part about it. So he has a pew-pew with him. He obviously used it on his children. So there's going to be a point when he's going to come to realization of what has happened. And we know the statistics of military and self-unaliving. So it is my belief he's already deceased. But again, I could be completely off base, and he could be running out there an armed, dangerous lunatic that just unalived his 3 children. So we cannot be lazy. We have to be vigilant, and we have to be hyper aware of our surroundings. If you are in this area and you had clothes on the line, you're air drying your clothes. If there's shirts, shorts, underwear, socks missing, contact law enforcement immediately. If you thought you laid something down and it's just missing and you think it's your brain and you're in this area, you might want to call law enforcement and tell them about your confusion. Okay? Because sometimes things happen like that. You have something there, you think you put it someplace else. You're looking all over the house and you can't seem to find the item you knew was right there. Probably because the item was right there and somebody took it. So if anything is missing around your house and you are in and around this area where these children lost their life, if anything is missing, if there's any footprint out of place, if there's just some weird sense that comes over you, like you're being watched, call law enforcement. Okay? This is no joke. This guy here, Travis Decker, had it in his being to take out his own children. He is a family annihilator and he has got to be brought to justice. This reminds me of Dorman, and I'm praying to God it's not that brutal. I'm praying to God it's not that brutal. So I hope I did well in explaining this case, and giving you a rare insight. This is one thing I was looking out. Everybody's covering this story and everybody's telling you all of the information that's, rolling out in the news and stuff. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of the backstory, what happened and why we are here. And it was the part of the story that nobody was really talking about. So I thought maybe a little insight on their marriage, their beautiful family, the something happening, the divorce, and why we're here, I thought was important factual information that you guys need to know. Again, my mods have put into the chat the GoFundMe for this mother. And I just, I know that we fundraise a lot on this channel for a variety of things. That's why we're a dollar will do campaign. But if there is a dollar you can rub together for this mother, please do. Because I can't imagine providing this kind of lifestyle, doing everything in her power to keep her children safe and removing the threat and the problems from their home, which happened to be her husband, and still wanting him to be part of their life, just to ultimately have everything, her entire world, destroyed. He wanted to hurt her. He wanted to hurt her like nobody could hurt somebody, much like Dorman. What was his name? Matt Dorman? Much like that. And I think it's disgusting. These children didn't ask to come into this world. None of us asked to be born. Our parents made that decision for each and every one of us. It is our parents that are responsible to take care of us and raise us the best that they can raise us until we're old enough to take care of ourselves. And the United States of America has attached the age of 18 to that feat. Chad Dorman. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Chad Dorman. Reminds me of Chad Dorman. So I always look at things like parents owe it to their children. Not that the children owe it to their parents, right? At some point, your parents give you a good life and it's time for you to take care of your parents. And I pray to God every child takes care of their parent in the same great way that their parents took care of them. It's not easy. And as an adult in a sandwich environment where you're taking care of your children and having to take care of your aging parents, it's not easy. It's far from easy. But we do it because we love. We love our family. We love the people we're caring for. We love them and we love everything that they've given us. This man took every bit of that away. Not just from her, not just from Whitney, but from his parents, her parents, their friends, their teachers, the people that loved seeing them thrive and grow. So we have a lot right now we need to be praying for. And if you can help Whitney in any way possible, please do. I can't imagine waking up and providing this lifestyle and finally thinking things are finally getting stable. Finally getting stable. My children are in their good home. They have good schools. We've lost a business, but we're stabilizing. We're getting our stuff together. And then boom, the children don't come home from their scheduled visitation. And still in the back of your brain, you think, he's just doing it again, just trying to upset me, not bringing him back on time. Then an hour goes by, then 2 hours. But in the back of your mind, you know that he may have done a lot of terrible things to you, but he loves his girls and he would never harm the hair on their head. Until a full-fledged mental and psychological breakdown, and now you have a family annihilator and 3 unalived children. Just not fair. It's just not fair. So I pray to God this animal is dead. I don't mince my words, and that's what a lot of people don't like about me, right? I'm a Christian woman, but I say things like that. How can that be? Because I believe in an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, much like our biblical times. And I pray to God this man is dead. I pray to God this man is dead before he gets to have trial. Why? Because I think the mother has suffered enough. That's why. And if he's watching this, do the world a favor. Do that mother a favor. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I hope he prays, and I hope he gets right with the Lord. That's all I can say for him. But he'll never be all right with me, and I'm not that forgiving. I probably should be. Christ talks about it. It holds me hostage, but I'm just not that forgiving. You know when I will forgive? When he has repented. That's when I'll forgive. When he actually repents. And I don't see any repentance where he's breathing the oxygen I am. All right, guys. God bless each and every one of you. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. And please, please, please keep these beautiful faces in your thoughts and prayers. But more importantly, God, put your hands and pray for this mother. I can't imagine the nausea, the swollen eyes, the pain throughout her body. It's something that you guys don't understand. It's hard to watch. It's hard to witness. And something like this, I have personally never witnessed, but her family is. And I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine the pain that this monster has brought on a lot of them. All right, guys, take care, and we'll see you soon. Oh, by the way, I don't want to leave yet. I want to thank everybody that participated. Thank you, Melanie, for the super chat. Also, the gifted membership. Gina, thank you for being a member for 11 months. Our beautiful Grave Crime with Grace loves some BHB. It puts her in a good mood until we start talking about this stuff, and we're all here ready to cry. Then we got Stephanie. Thank you so much. Robin gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership from Robin, don't forget to tell her thank you and welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. And our beautiful Serenity blessed us with such a gracious donation. Thank you so much. Good morning, Betty. The story breaks my heart. It's about 3 hours from me. If he's still alive, he's up in the mountains and woods. Lots of open spaces. You know, I almost want to get some tactical gear on and go out in those woods. I'm telling you, if I could fly out to Washington State, if it was a little bit closer, I'd be out there. I would be out there. It's just, I know it's dangerous, but I'd be out there. I don't know why it calls my name like it does, but it does. Listening to you. Oh, Robin, thank you. Listening to you on the way to Houston. KK and Cinda say good morning to. Love for Sonia. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jen in Georgia says, love me some BHB mods in chat. Thank you. Thank you, Mama. Billy B for you. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you, Eor. You're beautiful. Thank you for the super chat. Prayers for these angels. And Jen in Georgia, can you put can you put it in your post? I will donate. Yeah, that's fine. Well, we it was only for the photos. We went over the photos. I'll be dropping the photos on Twitter. I'll probably be doing a photo drop on Twitter so people can have access to them in case they can't find them. Again, it took a lot of work and a lot of sleuthing this morning, and I to be honest with you, I couldn't believe I had to go back and compare faces. I'm like, is this them? This looks like they're modeling. And so I was going through that. I'm like, holy crap, this is them. Because, I found mom's, Facebook. And when I saw it only had one photo, which again, I understand. She lost 3 kids. She doesn't want a whole bunch of strangers gawking over her private family photos. So I figured, what's the next best thing? Business photos, things that are on catalogs and stuff like that. These were photos that were for the public. These were modeling photos for the clothing. So I figured this keeps me above board in good graces with everybody, right? I mean, that's just the way I was thinking about it anyways. So very, very, very thankful for that. But we will get those photos up so people can have them, because there's nothing worse, than trying to create impactful videos to bring awareness to this case and having no photos of the person. So we needed to find photos of the children so we can make impactful videos in an effort to keep eyes on this until we find Travis. So hopefully other content creators will get on board. I did. Oh, thank you. Michelle gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. For those that received your gifted Bullhorn Betty memberships, please don't forget to tell the person that gave you those. Thank you. They do this for the love of this channel and so that you guys can be part of the team as well. So tell them thank you. Don't forget that. And welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket and your padded room and welcome aboard, guys. And if you would really like to help this family even more, I know some of us can, some of us can't. But those that can, the GoFundMe is right there for the support. Oh, thank you, Frank. Frank's been here for a while. No stranger to us. Already family, but it's nice to make it official. God bless you, Frank. And welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket and your padded room. It's official. You got something a little softer to hit your head on now. Got something a little softer to hit your head on. Padded room. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. I hope you guys learned something new that maybe you weren't seeing on other channels. But if you guys know anything, when we have cases like this, if I don't see the backstory or the humanization of the victims, we will definitely do that. And I hope I humanized them in everybody's mind, because I just want people to understand this mother loved those children. This mother did everything right, and the system still failed her. And she's got 3 babies that she has to bury because of this system, this broken, fucked up system. Excuse my language. I had a right to say it. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out, and we will see you soon.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, And more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.